How's it going? Just before we get into the episode, I want to let you know that we now have a Patreon. I'm pretty sure you know what a Patreon is. It's where you supporting this podcast if you want to help us, cover the cost of the studio, all those kind of things, and maybe get a bit of extra content for yourself. If you join at the lowest tier, you will get 48 hours early access to all the studio episodes, and we got some big guests coming on, so it's going to be worth doing that. And if you hit the higher tiers, maybe you get a little bit of extra stuff. We got some custom content that's going to be exclusive to the Patreon that you can't see anywhere else. And at the highest tier, maybe I'll do a little custom content specifically for you. Yep, that's all available. It's patreon.com/Kinell Sinister Cinema. The link's in the comments. If you are interested, check that out. Anyway, on with the show.
Yes, people, what's good? I'm Kinell, and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of the stranger side of cinema. Kinell Sinister Cinema is brought to you by Forgotten Sons Apparel. Check them out at forgottensonsapparel.co.uk. Forgotten Sons Apparel is a York-based streetwear brand drawing inspiration from alternative culture, tattoos, film, classic TV and cartoons from our childhood. In our own words, if you like our stuff half as much as we do, then we like it twice as much as you. I'm a big fan of this brand and I love the guys who make it. They've supported me for years, way before I was podcasting. They supported me in my battle rap career. You might have seen me rocking some of their garms on Don't Flop and other leagues. I love Forgotten Sons Apparel and I'm urging you all to check them out at forgottensonsapparel.co.uk. Right, now on with the show.
What's happening? Once again, as you can see, I am in the studio on my Jack Jones. It's happened again. Unfortunately, the guest who was sick last week is sick in a different way this week. It's unfortunate. These things happen, but the show must go on. Anyway, a lot of you seem to be getting down with the Shuffle episode I put up last week. So I'm going to do another little Zoom thing and bring another rapper that I love, a good friend of mine and someone I love talking about films in. The man, the myth, the legend, Frankie Frazier. Franco. Big phrase. Yeah, this is going to be a fucking good one. I'm really looking forward to this because he's a guy with some deep knowledge, man, and he's got a lot of taste. He's recently started a Instagram called Hell Fraser, specifically for his horror interest because he collects a lot of stuff. He collects VHSs, all this cool shit. And he's all about the good stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this conversation. So that's going to be what's happening now. Also, while I'm in the studio, I'm going to record my... I've just finished watching Stranger Things. The latest 2 episodes have just dropped on Netflix. So I'm going to do my little capsule review of that. And that should be on the Patreon a few days by the time you see this. So that's what's going to happen now. But anyway... so thanks for checking in, like, subscribe, all them YouTube things. If you check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcast, feel free to leave us a 5-star review. I don't care what you say. It's just for algorithm purposes. All them ones there. Anyway, on with the show. Safe. Recording is in progress, apparently, Franco.
Yes, sir. We're here.
Yes, how are we? Yes. Big King Frankie Frazier. Absolute legend in all aspects of life. Absolute pleasure to have you here on the podcast. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Flipping
Wicked.
all over the place today. It's been one of those busy ones. I'm seeing a bit of your collection in the background, man.
Yeah, man, honestly, I wish I could literally show you, everything because, this is what I have here. So, I basically have a lot of my main shit, there. But, if I don't know if I can turn it around, so I'll just turn this around and show you. These are the videos I've been getting recently.
Yes, man.
But they're all the videos I have right now that, I own, that I've bought myself. But, like I say, all my whole DVD collection, is stacked. It's 5 of the ones behind me or something or more. But I've moved them so many times that there's just no point in bringing them back here. I'm just gonna at some point have them all together in one space. I'm just kind of stuck between places at the moment, so yeah. I'm a bit gutted. I always want to show off my whole collection. That's why I don't really post nothing about unless it's little stacks or something, because it feels incomplete. You know?
Yeah. People need to check out your collection. If they want to do that, they can check it out at Hellfraser on
Yeah,
your
it should, I think
Instagram,
that's
innit?
it. Yeah, yeah. I got a little horror Instagram thing just to like. I don't even know what made me do it. I just wanted something like to focus on, like just that was different. And like, I had a few bits and pieces, and I was like, well, if I've got it there, maybe I could try and see what happens. And honestly, it's more so just because I like following like that. I like the aesthetic on my timeline and stuff. So like when I'm sitting there and I'm just scrolling past the like 100th stupid fucking like real life thing, or like a fucking reel about food, I can just change over and just see cool shit that like might have like a
Yeah.
fucking movie in the background and just be like, that looks sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I hear
mainly
what
just
you're
for that.
saying. There's some people that are just like they just make cool shit for my Instagram, like, and fucking like the Sinister Cinema Instagram is just well biased towards that. And when I open it, it's just like just cool movie posters and shit. Like,
Literally,
it
man. And
just
there's
makes
and
me
you
happy to look at.
right, it's like some endorphins or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like a little bit of serotonin boost or something. Like you just see something cool, and like there is like noticing like just how creative people are these days. Like, so it could be something old. You could find something old that doesn't have to be like revamped, or you could have someone like finding ways to make like the first time I ever noticed it. And I always forget the name of the Instagram, but if I remember it later, I'll bring it up. But the first time I ever saw anything like it, there was this Instagram page, and it was this guy who was making like, I'm sure loads of people do it now, but I'd never seen it at the time. It's like 5-6 years back, and he made like all, I don't even know if they were real. They look real, but they could have been just edits. But like movies that were like new horror, and he'd make them into like old school X rental VHS like
Yeah,
tapes, and like then like he started getting better with it, and it'd get more creative. And like even more recently, I've seen like he had things like like Elden Ring, but it'd be like a Mega Drive
yeah.
game or something like that, and it was just like just seeing how creative people can be with like art, like it's just so cool, man. Like I couldn't do none of that, so it's just nice to see it because I want to
Yeah.
see it,
I really rate that because like there was an era that the cover was the most important thing about a movie,
Oh,
like
mate,
that
honestly,
like
honestly,
that
I still have
that
them in
was
my
it, because
head.
we didn't
Like,
have adverts, we didn't have internet, like you didn't really see the trailers unless you were already buying that type of movie.
and real rap, like, whenever I saw the back of a box, I mainly just saw the names of actors because they big printed the actor names and little
Yeah.
printed the synopsis, and I like that. Like, there was a run. I remember there's a movie called The Big Nothing with
Oh yeah.
David Schwimmer and Simon Pegg, and I
Yeah.
genuinely, this was just at the back end of places being rental because it was a DVD, like it was an
Yeah.
offie, and my nan used to go to this offie like most like days,
I
and
think
like
I rented that from an off licensing banger,
yeah,
you know.
and I grabbed it, and I think it was one of the first times that I remember doing it. Like maybe I'd done it when I was younger, but I was too young to realize I was doing it. But at this point, I was a bit more clued up to what I was doing. I actively went into it going, I have no idea what this is about. I'm sure it's a hot comedy because it's these two, but fuck knows. And I put it on, and I remember it made the movie so much better to me that I didn't know it was gonna make
Yeah.
all those little like twists and turns. That it just made me think, you know what? I'm doing this all the time. So nowadays, like, I think you were yeah, I want to bring this up. I remember this. You were the person who finally made me watch Hereditary, and now it's like one of my favorite things ever. But
Yeah.
because what happened was, do you remember that little run of movies where they just basically made 4 kids running about with alien type like special powers? Remember
Yeah.
that
That
weird
was a
little
big
run?
thing for a while.
And I remember like being so, like sometimes you'll see a trailer and it's like, oh, it's just one of those. It's just one of those. It's another one in the long run of that. And I remember the first like minute or 30 seconds I saw of Hereditary pop up, I was like, oh, it just looks like the same sort of five,
Yeah.
6 things I'd just seen come up recently, and I knocked it. And I won't ever do that again because I hate doing that now. But I remember knocking it, and it'd been maybe like, I think it had just finished in the cinema and it was just coming out, but it hadn't come out. And I remember you being like on Twitter or something, no, check it for real, like do it. And I was like, you know what, fair enough. Maybe I've yeah, honest, and it's one of my favorites ever now. Like, so it just goes to show. But yeah, I don't even know where I was running with that. But yeah, just the yeah, fucking covers. Yeah, that was it. Finding covers.
Yeah.
Going into shops, like one of my like favorite things was just to see a box and being like, oh, like especially when I was younger, like seeing horrors when you're young and you have
Yeah.
no idea what they are. Like I still
When
love
it's
the
something
bad taste
forbidden and
cover.
all, like.
Yeah, because it was like there was always a little section that was
Yeah.
like sort of tapered off, like you could get a glimpse in there, like as your mum or whatever walks you to the next fucking aisle to buy like some Land Before Time shit or whatever, and then right there you can see like fucking Bad Taste, and it's like that, and you're like, what the fuck is that? I've never seen anything like that before in my life. So yeah. Covers are the one, and that's kind of what I'm on at the minute. Like I've noticed with getting videos at them, I've realized. I'm sure people like that watch your stuff might know, but I didn't. Is that big box X rentals are Blu-rays, and little box normal sold videos
Yeah.
are DVDs, right? So
Yeah.
like at the moment, I've got basically no big box stuff because they're not dough, but like. I want to build up first, so like I just want to get loads of little ones. So like the other day I got Hellraiser 1, 2, 3, and 4 for like a fiver. Whereas if I
Yeah.
bought the big box X rentals, it probably cost me like 50,
Yeah.
60 quid, which is fine, but I'd rather do that at a later date, if that makes sense. Similar as how I was doing it with the DVDs and Blu-rays when I was mainly connecting them. I was like, oh shit, I just grabbed the £3
Yeah,
ones instead of
sometimes you just need a copy to watch. Sometimes you need the one. Like,
right. I think
it's
it's just one
separate
of those,
things.
and I think it's better because it will give me more of a reason to grow it. So like, if I've got a tenner and I can buy 5 off someone, or I could buy one good one, then I'm gonna buy the 5 until that month goes by. I realize I've got a couple like 30 more, 40 more, and I'm like, you know what, actually this time I'm gonna get that one. And then I'll do it another month, and then this time. And then it just kind of separates what you're doing too, which makes it more of a like a bit more fun, you know. But yeah, at the moment I'm just doing it for the aesthetic of it. I like seeing them. I grew up with them. I lost all mine, so like I need that feel back, man.
Yeah, man. There's something real about, and there are some fucking films that are better on fucking VHS.
All
Videodrome is
day.
better on VHS. Like, I like watching that clear. It just don't feel right.
Mate, I got one of the first videos I got back since like before I even really could say I started collecting them. Like now I can't say that, but about a year or so back when I went Glasgow, I found a copy of it and Shocker on video, and in this like cool ass fucking shop that didn't even sell videos, it just sold everything that was cool and old, and they just had like 5, and I saw them, and I think they cost me like 5 each. They're probably cheaper than that usually, but I just saw them. I was like, let me get that, and I remember I think I'd shown
They're
my
both
girl like
quite
the new
iconic
one.
covers and all.
Yeah, oh, honest, bro, the Shocker covers gas. I didn't even know what that was till I was like 18, and when I found it on a just on some like fucking movie like 4K type thing, I just like one of those pages. I just scrolled past it and was like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, where's Craven? What's going on? And it drew me in heavy. But yeah, I watched it and like on the video, and it just looked so much better, man. It just felt like cool as shit. Like to me, I don't know.
This is it. Like, I mean, like, I speak to some people, and like, there's some VHS collectors that are like fucking like proper bad weirdos.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm already noticing that.
yeah,
It's tough.
there's like definitely a scene that's got some bad weirdos in. Like, I spoke to like Dave Wayne. Like, I've had
Okay.
Dave Wayne on my show, and like, there's 2 remaining actual like rental shops in the country, and he runs
Yeah,
one,
man.
and he runs the only one in the north.
That's
I
sick.
brought him
That's
over. He
very sick.
go, like, I brought him on the pod. I had him in the studio, and he was saying like, fucking like, I love collecting videos, but yet fucking like, there's some weirdos in that scene. Like,
Mate, I only just got, so when I first started, like a few months ago or whatever it was, I just saw a couple random like bulk, like get 10 of these off me from my house on like fucking marketplace type things. And I went and got like this house was near me, and
Yeah.
he gave me like 10, 15 videos for like 5 or something. I was like, I'll have them. But then I started like searching the groups, and then I found like an American one. I realized pretty quickly that I was in an American one, so I kind of was like, all right, let me look more like England. And I found like these couple groups, and there's like, I haven't seen anyone be super weird in there, but you get this vibe of like control freakism about stuff,
Yeah.
like, and it's like, oh man, allow it, bro. I'm not trying to be in here for that. So
It's weird, man. It's such a fucking niche thing, but there's fucking gatekeeping goes on there, man.
I don't know what it is, man. Like,
Yeah.
it took me ages. Like, it took me like 2 weeks to realize. You're right, mate. It took me like 2 weeks to realize what sell through was, because everyone was just banging on about sell throughs, and I was like, I didn't want to ask in case I looked like a fucking
Yeah.
noob, and then I had to clock, and I was like, all right, it just means someone's bought a bulk and they're selling them on straight away without checking them, and I was like, all right, I get it now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it defo gave me like that. I don't know, what's that feeling when you're sort of new and you don't want to interact in case you're like
Yeah.
judged and that. Like it gave me that straight away, which is weird because like they're probably all fucking idiots.
It's real talk, though, man. It's real talk, though. So, like, fucking, fucking, I'm absolutely delighted to get you on there because, like, fucking, like, your love of horror comes from the same kind of era as me, man. Fucking, like, that VHS era, like hitting the franchise, the big franchises and all this.
Yeah, for sure.
The Fridays, the nightmares, and all this. Like,
I got very lucky with like with how I got into horror because like my cousin asked me the other week, he was like, you weren't always into that. I was like, no, I kind of was. Like I just like he just wasn't. I never really spoke to anyone about it. So it was kind of my thing. So I'd watch everything else. I watched mad movies with like my brother and my cousin or whatever. But with horrors, usually it was just me. Like, but my mum was seeing this guy when I was a bit younger, like for like a good while, and he was just like obsessed with horror, but not talking about it. It was one of them like he just would buy all the horrors that were out, like
yeah.
that type, right?
So
So
they
I
were
just had this.
So they were in
Yeah.
your
So
sphere.
I already had the sort of like late night sort of watching something with me dad, like American Werewolf in London, like getting a
Yeah.
taste of watching something like new. But or like getting the odd movie where like I'd find a video at like my nan's that probably I like didn't realize was a horror till I put it on or whatever. But for the most part, it was like that was when I proper started watching it a lot. Like I had that run of being a kid of seeing the odd one and liking it, but then this guy literally would just buy loads. So like he bought one of them Halloween box sets, the DVDs that had like all of them in it, and like
Oh yeah.
I just remember being like I don't even know. I'd say I would have been about I don't know, maybe 13. No, younger than that. Maybe like 10, 11. I could just sit and watch through them. Like, and even though I was into stuff, I had them a bit more at my disposal than I would have at that run
Yeah.
there. Like, which was sick because I got to go through quite a lot of shit, but I never really picked up on like any sort of behind the scenes or names or any shit until I got a lot older. Like, I liked the fact that there was like horrors and shit. Like, for sure. But I've always loved it.
It's quite good that the way that like I do like that, like coming back as an adult and finding out new shit about things that I really fucking cared about as a kid.
Well, that's what got me back into wrestling. I'm not really sort of as big of a marker as I was for a couple years there, but a few years ago when I was heavy back into it, it was mainly because I was just listening to old dons that I saw as a kid be like this big superhero guy. Just being like, oh yeah, we was doing crack and shit. And I was like, yo, I need to hear all of this. And then you just find out there's this whole other world. And it was similar like with horror in a way where it's like, oh shit, let me find out who that guy is. And then you find out about fucking like Tom Savini or someone, and you're like, oh shit, he's insane. Like I want to, and then you find out about another person, and it is sick, man. It really is. Like I love that shit, man. I find that super interesting. Like you say, to just go back and find stuff you enjoyed as a kid and learn more.
Yeah, man. Fucking like Tom Savini, particularly. Like, do you know what his fucking whole deal is now? Like, he's got like a
school.
Yeah, he's got like a fucking like a special effects makeup school, like in Pittsburgh. and just every year, like loads of people go there to like fucking like learn shit off him. And he just kind of like sort of like meets the like fittest goth bird that's come to like that's come to learn how to be a special effect, and that's just his girlfriend for the year, and that's just what he does.
Bro,
He just has a dead
he's
fit.
tapped, bro. He's been tapped, bro. From time,
He
yeah,
fucking
you're
is
watching.
sex machine out of From
Yeah,
Dusk Till
yo,
Dawn.
bro.
Like,
I think I might be the only person with two Savini references in battle raps, to be honest. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, you
There
might be,
might be
man.
someone with one, but I know I've got two, bro. I've got two of them motherfuckers. I said to Jem, you'd need Tom Savini props to beat me when I was bare new. And then I told Dialect that he uses his gun as his gun as a metaphor for his dick like sex machine, which I always thought was hilarious. Which got
That was
more love
fucking
than I thought
fire,
it was
man. I
gonna.
was fucking there for it.
I was surprised at the time that people knew what I was on about, kind of thing. Because I was like, I'm giving a
I
bit
think
away
like
here.
that was kind of like at the point, like, and fucking you're definitely there now, but like you've kind of hit the point where like fucking some of your shit is really niche, and like some of the crowd don't get it, but you're so good at rapping that they just go, "Oh, fucking Frankie's defo said something ace there."
Yeah, no, I think it's because I've learned so much more about how to utilize like everything. So like if
Yeah,
I find it so much like me and Shaf were talking about this a lot. Like he has a couple at the moment. I had a couple like of our recent battles where like we could find the most common thing, like not purposely, like not seek it out, but like you know when you see something that you like everyone knows, and
yeah,
like and then if you come up with something that is like all purpose, like and
yeah,
then after that bar I can throw in like some niche ass fucking reference because
yeah.
I've already got them. So if they don't like that one, that's for me, you know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
man. That's what I do. I tend to bury them in the setups because I fucking can't fucking like get the crowd on side with my writing like that. Like
Bro,
fucking
it's
like,
just like over time, man, you just start pinpointing where to place stuff more, and you're like,
yeah,
oh shit, I could have just put that there. I tried to like bank my whole fucking reaction on that bar that was about a film that came out 30 years ago that only
yeah,
like you would have got. You know, I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck am I doing? Like, why'd I do that? But I'll never get rid of it. Like I'm not one of them brothers that's like, oh, by the way, I do this now. I'm like, no, I'm still gonna say all the cool shit that I find cool.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, but you found the way to fucking work it that you can just fucking like keep it fucking popping
smart, that's the one,
fucking
man.
I think you're in a bit of a purple patch at the minute, man. Fucking
I,
like
I, I appreciate that, man.
you're the Frankie that fucking we always wanted. Like,
Yeah, no, it feels it. It feels. I think I just kind of. I was saying to someone yesterday, like I don't know why, I don't know how. I just something clicked, and I just kind of get it now, like way more than I ever did. Like I think I was kind of doing everything on like a bit of an autopilot before,
yeah,
where I was just saying stuff because I wanted to do it, but not
yeah,
really putting in like all the work and all the
yeah,
knowledge. Even I think I just tried to blag it a bit, whereas now I'm kind of like way more like pinpoint with how I like mainly prep. To be honest, I tried to make sure that
yeah,
I've learned my shit like well. Like before, I would try and learn it, and then I'd just shit myself that I was gonna fuck it up the whole time. Whereas now I'm like I still kind of do that, but in a better way.
yeah. Fucking hell, fucking like any Frankie battle in the last like few years, and it has been a few years now. Like fucking consistent, fucking banging. Like
Yeah,
for that reason, like, and fucking always very interesting.
I'd say from
Like
like
you've really like come to the point where you can like fucking rock a crowd with layered writing.
mate, thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. I think it's because mainly going when I went Canada, like I think my brain kind of went, oh shit, yeah, this is like you're not just in the pub now, like kind of thing.
Yeah,
You're not just sort of popping like three people that you was chilling at the event with anyway. You know,
yeah,
like this is actually something that people want you to do. And then yeah, I don't know, like I'll never know how, but like at some point it just kind of clicked, and I kind of just know, and maybe I just care about it more than I did before. Like as
yeah,
I cared about it as a fan more than, whereas now I care about what I'm doing Like I give myself more credit. Like whereas I was just kind of doing it before, like just cause. And that is probably was my biggest issue. Is like people were telling me, "Yo, you're good," and I was going, "Yeah, don't worry about me. Let's do something else. Let's enjoy the event and get pissed," kind of thing.
Yeah, you're fucking like coming to a really good phase now, and I fucking love it because it means like the crowd are bouncing in the battles, the crowd are fucking bouncing, they're fucking screaming along to the punchlines, but we can all fucking sit at home and watch it later and catch those little references that you do, and you always have those little fucking details, man, and I love it about you.
Thank you, bro. That's what I love myself. Like what I write is. I just enjoy. I enjoy references, man. Like I know that it can be easily sort of like mugged off in a battle rap sense. Like if someone just to be like, you do this, that, and I get it, but like it's just what I enjoy.
But you're
man. Like,
a lot better than that. There are people.
I know. I mean, it's in like just what I enjoy to do. Like I'll always keep them because it's fun for me. Like it's one of the things that keeps me doing it. Is what I'm trying to get. Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking like it, like because I mean, not like we talk about references in battle rap, and like we are at a point when there's like we're in the era of the bait reference, and we have been for a bit. Like it's like whatever the last thing released on fucking like the last fucking Marvel thing, like whatever the climax of that is, fucking. I remember being at an event and hearing like five different battles that all had a similar punchline about the same thing that happened in the last Marvel movie that came out.
It's always drove me nuts, like topical references, man. Like I won't say I've never done them because everyone's done them in some aspects, like, but they like when I look outside of myself and I just see it happening, it does drive me up the wall a bit. Like I nearly had a shit the bed bar like Amber Heard, and then I was like, no, take it out. And then literally I took it out and it was said like, not only was it said the event before, but then it was said like the battle before me, and I was like, good thing I took that out. Like what was I gaining from it? To be honest, probably nothing. Like a very 2-second pop, and then no one cares about it in 10 years. Like that's one of the things that I try to do, right? Is with my references, some people might be like, oh shit, I don't know what that is, right? But I'm not trying to reference something that would be not cared about tomorrow. So like I might say something that you'll catch like when you watch it back and be like, oh shit, I get what you meant now, or like something. Whereas if I just said what was on the front cover of the paper, then it changes the next week and you're literally like, I don't care about that anymore. Like I don't, you know what I mean?
This is it. Like we're living in this era of like fucking the 24-hour news cycle is a real thing. Like
it's probably shorter than that now in this day and age, isn't it? It's madness, bro, with TikToks and fucking all that shit, bro. People be
this is it. If you're gonna do them bars, you got to be like freestyling them on the day, like.
Yeah, like that when you throw them in, like on a whim or something, as like it just happened. Alright, cool, I get it. Like totally get it. Like it's definitely. But yeah, putting time into it is probably not the one. Not the one.
But yeah,
thank you again. Thank you.
Hey, no worries, bro. Fucking pleasure. You're here for a reason because I fucking love what you do, lad.
My guy, bro. My guy.
Tune in a bit. Let's slag off Stranger Things.
No, we got to do that, have we? All right, yeah. Let's go. I've been saying it. I think you're the only person I know who picked up on it, right? And I'm waiting for that meme with the fucking swords to the neck, like cartoon thing, and it's like, what is your that? I'm waiting for that to run again because it comes up every like 2 months, like somewhere. I'm just waiting to drop how much I hate Eddie Marston, like.
Fucking like you picked up on it immediately, like, and fucking
immediately.
I fucking like I was like thinking it, and I opened my phone, and like you just tweeted that, and it was like, oh, Frankie's fucking like just tweeted what I'm thinking.
Yeah, bro,
that character was designed as a fucking algorithmic meme,
bro. Like, good luck to all the people that enjoy him, but I am not I'm not having it. Like, I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not buying what you're selling me. Do you know what? It's like a downloadable content thing, like in a game or something. It's like,
Yeah.
no, man, I know you just added that in. That was nothing. Like, even other new characters that came in, like, I forget the fucking names already, where my brain fell out. It's hard. What's the guy's little sister called? That came in like 2. Erica, right? So yeah, Erica came in and instantly fit in, but was still sort of out of the like main core of group. Has a character, makes sense, gets involved in shit, but is still sort of in and out.
So
This
you
guy
know it's
just
a
came
one
in
season
like
plot arc.
it's like, and when she carried on in the in the newer series, they bigged her up, gave her more stuff to do because people like what she was doing as a character, but they still kept her as sort of a just outside the core, because that's what her character is. This guy just got thrown in and instantly that shit straight in, and then the Hellfire stuff. I'm like, all right, look, you're just trying to sell T-shirts in H&M. I get it. Good luck, do it. Like, but I'm not buying
but
it.
they're available cheaper on AliExpress. Like,
bro, do you know what I think bothered me the most is the horror page I've got is like every story he was on within. If it weren't 1 second, it was the next one. If it weren't, it was the next one. And then it grew into my normal Facebook and not Facebook, my normal Instagram, and like it's on there now. And I'm like, yeah, this is nuts. Like it's like watching like a Love Island person like just blow up for a minute and being like, what, who the fuck? Like if I didn't watch
know
Stranger
you
Things,
were
I would
last
be
week.
lost. Literally. And I don't know, maybe people could flip this on us and be like, well, that's how you know it's good because he's so huge and blah blah. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna be a like proper moany old cunt about him. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Although I did enjoy the scene.
Like, I don't like the way that like fucking if you want to hear the full fucking KSC fucking Stranger Things breakdown, it's on the Patreon. Give me some money. But but I thought like they did have some interesting stuff going on in the season as all.
Yeah, they went way more horror with it. I feel like I like that aspect of it. Like straight in like pretty much the first episode of the new series, there was like mad bodies and like gore and shit, and I was like, oh, that weren't like because I started it from the beginning for my girl. She'd never seen it, but I was sort of jumping in and out, and like by the time like 3 ended and 4 started, I was like, yo, they weren't doing that. Like they was touching on it, but they weren't doing that. Like bodies were dropping like crazy.
Yeah, they fucking stepped it up. Like some of the previous series, they were going too hard on like trying to be 80s, like fucking like it'd just be a normal conversation and someone be wearing like fluorescent pink leg warmers and fucking in some fucking chain restaurant that's gone out of business, and that's every conversation. And it's just all the references like that. Now they seem to be referencing horror more than the 80s. And like, another thing I think they did is like all that Russian shit. Like fucking like I feel like they were trying to go for more like a Resident Evil Silent Hill thing in that, like.
Oh shit, that's nice. I never really clocked it like that. But I think it was
that was more like a 90s computer game, like
I can see because I said this as well, right? If anyone should jump in on the game thing, it's Stranger Things, to be honest. But do it well. Like I get that they could probably throw one out and everyone would spend like 30 quid and it'd be shit and it'd die. But if they did that well enough, like this, like just that Russian bit is like mad like levels to it. And like you say, with it being sort of in, even though it was like in Russia, it was sort of in one spot, and like there's like a boss and there's like
and it was just in a prison, like
that's a shout. Now I fully get what you're saying now. I never clocked it until you said it, but I fully get it. That's a nice shout. I like that.
Yeah, it's like at the end, because like when they were pulling all the stories together at the end, fucking like, and it's just your man who's the cop and he's fucking bald now, like fucking fighting your Demigorgon with a fucking stick. I thought this feels like a fucking like a boss fight, like a Resident Evil boss fight or a Silent Hill boss fight.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a very good shout, man. Do you know what? I saw a couple things that I don't have any like I don't know if these are true, just sort of like people mentioning it, and it kind of stuck in my head about the show. I saw someone say, it was like a story. So it was like someone's story was like ask a question about Stranger Things, and like
Yeah.
I only caught a bit of it. So they might have been on about more stuff, but they was basically saying that like each season they're doing a different horror type, like all 80s type horror or sci-fi gimmick as like the thread line. So like they were basically saying that this one was like low-key Nightmare on Elm Street, and they reckon like the next one could be like, I don't know, like say Lost Boys. They weren't saying definitely, but that kind of vibe. And I was like, you know what, I could see it. I could see them throwing like a new sort of way to like bring that in, and I do like that. That's one of the things I do like about it, is that they can do stuff like that. And then also I saw something about how there's going to be a time jump, and that's totally understandable because these kids grew up a lot more with the pandemic and stuff. Like there's no one at fault for that, really. Like it's just how life is. And also like kids grow weird when they get to that like stage of like late teens to like just about 20. They do grow up bare gangly and shit, so I can understand why like people want to kind of jump the time there, so I get it.
I could definitely see them going like a 90s survival horror. I thought they had like a I always bring it back to Italy, like I think they were talking about like ginger kid with the pigtails.
Max.
Yeah, man. That's like they've done her up to look exactly like the blind ginger kid out of the Beyond, the old Fulci one. That like she looks exactly like that kid. And then they made her go blind with the white eyes. I thought, fucking hell, you're talking about this here. I see your fucking reference.
See, but that's nice because even if they don't touch on it again, they knew like that's what we were talking about a minute ago, low key with like bars and stuff. Like it doesn't have to carry on. You don't have to take it with you. But like if it made one person go, oof,
and
that's
what it did. Like... I saw it. Like I've been fucking searching for other people to like fucking catch that reference, and I can't find anything online that has. But like, I know they did it, man, and fucking
listen, when you know something, you fucking know, bro. And like you said with the Resident Evil Silent Hill thing, now you say it, I've not seen no one mention that, but that makes total sense, like total sense to me.
Man.
For real.
Like
but
even like
I
just having it in a Russian prisons, like the kind of it like limited environment you'd have in one of them games, innit?
For real, bro. And then like even just the moments where it's like they're like locked in one bit and the doors are about to open and and like that's a proper game. Like I've super been off games, but in the last couple of weeks I've been playing like I played like Red Dead and Last of Us, and I've been playing God of War because it was free, so I was like banging out God of War, and I'm noticing like there's so many moments where you're like, shit, the door's about to open and it's gonna pop off like any second now. So it's similar to that, like for real. But I did enjoy the season. Like overall, I did enjoy it. Like, I do like Stranger Things, man. I think that what they do well, they do really well. And then the stuff that I might find corny, I get why they do it. And with it blowing up so huge, like they have to do it, I guess, innit? So
yeah, man, like they're making enough money off fucking like Eddie Munson gifts that they can put that Netflix will give them money to make like a fucking like 14-hour fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's so, it's honest to God, like the like I know we was being half tongue in cheek with the whole algorithm thing, but like it's so popping that it's like hard for it not to be getting more money. Like they must be getting more money out of it, and that's cool. Good luck to them. I no hate. Like good luck to them.
That's a good thing with a series. Like if they put that in a 90-minute film, and like fucking like 10% of a 90-minute film was like fucking shit designed to get people buying t-shirts and that'd fucking ruin a film, but
real rapid. Well, but
it doesn't ruins a fucking 10-hour fucking series.
Totally. And I was like, it's not like he's gone. Like he will be in because they bring people back in flashbacks, in moments, in even if he's doing the exact same scene or for a second. But I was saying with how huge he was, I could see them doing or actually he was here for that moment too, and they show a little past half 20-minute bit. and stuff like that. Because you know what they do? They be writing stuff in, so they can easily write it.
Are you a Phantasm fan, man? Do you like Phantasm?
Do you know what? It's something I never really watched, but I know I know of it, and it's one of them I know I'm gonna sit and like enjoy at some point, but I never got into it, man. Like for some reason, just one of them that missed me.
There's 5.
I know it's the ball, right? With I'm sure I watched the first one time. I'm sure I had it on, but all I remember is that ball, and it had like little fucking daggery things on it and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like they made the first one like at the back end of the 70s, and like that. Then it was just like a bunch of Canadian people just making some shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did one in the 80s when like a big studio gave them a bit of money, and they did 2 in the 90s, and they did 1 in 2016. Like,
Jesus Christ, I don't even think I knew that.
Yeah.
One in 2016, that's mad.
Yeah,
that's
it's
mad.
five films, and like apart from like one dude got replaced in the big one in the 80s, it's like the same cast like that have been through it.
Oh, I love shit like that, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's banging.
But
that's
like
banging.
when they made the original one, the 1970s, like you like you shoot more than you like use. And
for sure.
Yeah. Like they originally made like a thing that was like 2 hours and 45 minutes for their first film. They cut it down to 90.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when they made like Phantasm 4 in fucking like I think it was like about 1997, 98 or something. Like they like reused all the footage that they cut out of like the 1970s one.
That's
like,
wild.
And it's the same actors.
Yeah.
In flashbacks, like so they got like fuck it. That's fucking sick. I love shit like that.
And it because it was so like part of the original story, even though you didn't see it, like that it genuinely threads in perfectly. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's very hard. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get on them. I've been on a telly like shit at the minute because everything was on. So I'm kind of like I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm kind of done with telly, and I'm getting back into like I want to watch films at night now, just like one at night instead of watching like 6 hours of a show. And there's a few things I need to catch, man. I don't want to come off the screen because I'm on my phone, but I've got a little list of this like stuff I've watched recently, but I can't go on to it. But I watched a couple really shy old horrors because earlier in the year I had Arrow. I had the Arrow thing.
Oh yeah, fucking Arrow channel's fucking great, man.
Mate, there's some gold on there. I watched a couple awful. I watched a film which I'd never seen before, and I genuinely thought it was amazing. Is it Microwave Massacre?
Oh yeah, man, that film's nuts.
Bro, that film is genuinely hilarious. Like it is genuine. The guy looks like if like Del Boy had some weirdo cousin, right? And he just talks to himself.
It does have a bit of Only Fools and Horses about it, like because
he actually
it's got his like
mates
like
in the morph Del Boy. For real, bro.
Like his mates on the construction site could be drinking in the Nag's Head.
Bro, they genuinely could be, bro. It's Mickey Pearson that. But yo, bro, like it's just so like he goes, maybe I could, like he starts like it's like he's the narrator, but he's not narrating the film, and he goes, could I do that? Maybe I could. And it's just like so silly but funny. And then there was another one called Cold. Fuck was it? It was like Cold. It was like an 80s film, right? Set maybe late 70s, but I think it was 80s. Chill Factor.
Chill Factor.
Terrible.
Oh yeah, the
so
fucking
much.
like skiing one.
So bad, bro. Like there's a whole bit that's just like for no reason. There's like a 5-minute racist bit, but they don't bring it back to nothing. So you think, oh, someone's gonna get hurt for that, you know, like in some films they'll like show something and then bring it.
It's a setup like this guy's a bad person, and then
but like you say now, you say maybe they cut it out, you know. Them ones like you say with the films, they probably, bro, it's so stupid, it's so dumb. Like there's no overtones of it being fucking like otherworldly, and then at one point it just is now.
That film's just a normal slasher film, and suddenly it's like fucking Grim Reaper on a snowboard.
Bro, there's a Jesus on the wall, right? It's a little plaque, and it's been in my head for like 3 months, and it's just got this face that's like whoever made it, made the shoddiest fucking Jesus ever, and it's just like, Like, he's gutted that it's even in the film himself. He's like, get me out of this fucking movie, bro. Honestly, so bad. But I've missed doing them. Like, I want to watch a couple more like old sort of like 80s trash. Like, because I find so I kind of there's some of them that I just completely missed, but I know they're fun even if they're shit. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back on some of them as well, man. And like I see you saying in the Shaft episode, because I was watching the Shaft episode just to sort of get my like head in the game. And fucking, you said something about Jello, and I was like, I've kind of missed all of that. Like I've seen some here bits and pieces, but I want to enjoy those, man, like properly, because I know
I got
I
the
know they're
Jello
heavy.
recommendations for you all day, mate.
Well, I want to watch all that Crystal Plumage one and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've not watched it, but I know they're hard. Like, I know they're hard because I was banging out some serious podcasts with like Tarantino and that on them. They're like 5 hours long. You'd probably know the ones I'm on about.
I think I know fucking
You know,
Eli Roth and that.
yeah, that one's banging. But then there's these two dons that have him on, and it's like 4 hours long. If you've not got them, I'll send you them because it'll blow your mind. Because a couple of them are like, they're just talking about B movies from, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So there's no talk of like anything good. They just start talking about this madness. There's one that Tarantino's talking about a film he saw that I forget even the name or whatever, or I can't remember if he said it was in Germany or in some next country, but it's about a dog chasing this guy for about like the whole movie, like almost literally. And he's like, it goes from one bit where like he's genuinely running through a city and this dog keeps catching up to him. And he's like, and you think at one point you're like, oh man, like I hope this guy gets away. And then the longer it goes on, you're like, oh, I hope this fucking dog gets this guy. Like, I'm like, yo, I need to find this fucking movie, bro. Like, but yeah, it's shit like that. I've been like, so I was proper into like finding out about some mad shit earlier in the year because I was writing. Like I started a movie that I'm writing. I'm terrible for finishing stuff, but I started writing a horror. Only thing I finished completely was I did a first draft of an episode. I wanted to write Wishmaster as a show.
Yeah.
Like I've got a fucking pilot for the first episode of Wishmaster as a show, like, and I'd love to be able to like carry that on, even if nothing ever came. I'm fine with nothing.
Fucking Wishmaster is such a good franchise that would work so well as a fucking series.
Should have popped way more. Love it. It could easily have gone in the run with like the Hellraisers and all that. Like it just It's so good, man. So good. I love that shit. That's my kind of vibe.
Wishmaster is fucking like this amazing franchise that was kind of a victim of timing because like fucking it was like still doing that thing around the time that Scream said, oh no, we're doing things ironically now. Yeah. And so there wasn't that fucking market for straight up things. You've got to have like actors from Dawson's Creek in it, and you've got to say an ironic fucking joke and all this shit.
It's so crazy, man. Honestly, like I think that's what made me want to write it. It wasn't even specifically because I was like I like it, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. It wasn't something that was an obsession. I was like, oh, I have to write about this. One day I was talking to my brother, and I was like, we both like Wishmaster, and I was like, yo, I've got a really sick idea for like a twist in one. And he was like, oh, okay, what is it? So I told him, and he just looked at me like he never gives a shit about like this, and he was just like, you gotta write that, like what? That's nuts. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll give it a go. And I was like, do you know what? I'm not remaking a film. I don't know nothing about remaking a film. I was like, what I can do is I could set it out like if I could do 8 little, like nowadays everything's got like an 8 season, an 8 episode season. Yeah,
that's what it is.
And I was like,
that's the format.
So I was like, you know what? If I could write 1 episode, I could write 8 because I'd know where I was going with the next one and the next one. And I had an idea for where I was going with the next ones, but I stopped writing it. But I've got the pilot. I've sent it to a few people. I'll send it to you if you want to have a look for it.
Definitely.
At the very least, the payoff of the ending would make you want to watch another one. That was all I wanted out of it, to be honest.
That's something that's always going to be happening with Wishmaster is like fucking you could always fucking have that payoff. Like fucking Wishmaster would be an anthology that would just keep going and going and going and going.
I found the guy who wrote it. Fuck is his name? he did Hellraiser with Clive Barker and stuff. He's a Scouser. He reminds me of Alexei Sale. He's not funny or anything, but he just got that look and sound to him. But I found him on Twitter. I forget his name. It's fucking. He'll be here somewhere. But where is my fucking Wishmaster anyway? Because I'll tell you his fucking name. But anyway, he did like a commentary, and this is the main reason I wrote the show, right? Because I watched the commentary thing like after one of the I think it's just after the first film. There's like a little 10-minute bit where he's talking about it, and no word of a lie, for like 5 of these 10 minutes he's going, oh, didn't really care about what I was writing, just got asked to write some shit, looked up some basic like ideology bollocks, jotted it down. That weren't all that, probably weren't even that good to me, you know. And he was proper just like shitting on it, like low key. And I was just like, this guy don't give a fuck, bro. Like I might end up like being able to just go to him one day. Do you care if I put that out? And he'd probably be like, just run me whatever bread I deserve from it and crack on, because he just genuinely didn't seem to give a shit about it. But I know, because I followed his. He had like 1,000 followers, man. I think he just does bare ebook stories and then like does stuff to do with like Hellraiser, like on chats now. That's it.
Yeah.
It popped me though. Yeah, it made me laugh that he didn't give a fuck about it. And I'm out here like, I really like Wishmaster. He's outrageous for no reason.
Fucking like I watch all the Wishmasters quite regularly. The first two are bang, like all of them are banging. Like the fourth one like has the fucking. By the fourth,
it's the fourth one in with the big house and that was
they just it's the plot of a fucking like identity swap of a fucking like body swap romantic comedy, innit?
Yeah, like, it's basically so weird, bro. It's so weird. The first one, and then I think is 2 the one that has the prison bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That's
one of
heavy.
the funniest bits in any fucking horror ever.
Bro. So good, bro. So good. I want to run through them because I've not actually watched the 2, 3, and 4 in ages. Like, I've watched one back when I was writing it, like the other year. I watched it back a couple times because I wanted to take from it and like take odes to it.
Get the energy.
Like, you know, that couple little lines I'd put in because I was like, well, that's what he said originally, and that would be the nice touch. But then I'm not gonna go that way with it, etc. You know. But yeah, it's fucking. The one I'm writing at the minute, I can basically say the setup without the payoff because like I kind of know where I'm going with it, but I've stopped after like I think I've got about 14 pages or some shit like that. But the reason I stopped is because there's a bit where I'm getting to that's going to take ages to like look up, and I just couldn't be asked to do the work of looking stuff up yet, but I know I'm going to do it. But basically I had this thought for a horror where you see like how people have phobias, right? And they can be super obvious, like heights, or they could be really trivial, like a fucking like a pineapple or some shit, and they could be.
I used to know a guy who had a terrifying fear of drinking straws.
Right, you get what I'm saying now, right? So like, I was like, what a mad little horror idea it'd be if the reason we're innately scared of one specific object is because that's what kills us.
Yeah.
And it's our brain trying to tell us to stay away from it, but it can't tell us why to stay away from it.
On some Final Destination shit, like
that kind of vibe. So
it's not being ridiculous. Like fucking every phobia is right.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I had it where the beginning sort of idea is where whoever the guy is gonna be is he's got like I want to say he's got a fear of heights because it's like a simple one that everyone kind of knows, and it's more broad. But like it's gonna start with him like trying to put his foot on the train, but that little step is just getting too much for him, and he's getting vertigo about it. It's like whatever. So then he ends up going to I want to do like a class, like what they called like them AA type things, but it's
support group.
Yeah, that's it. It's a support group. I want to do a support group thing where everyone's got. This is the bit where it's going to be hard to write. Is I want to choose who's got what without being too like you know. But once I know, they're going to start dying off in their scare way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and flipping like as more people go missing, they start get paranoid. Like Well, fucking, it
Literally.
was a ridiculous phobia, but he was right.
But why is he dead with a pineapple in his head and he was scared of him? Let's find out. You know, them ones.
Yeah,
Like,
by
so.
the end of it, you've just got one dude left. Like, well, they were all fucking right.
But I've got a way madder flip, which I can tell you off camera. But I'm not gonna put it on until I do it. But I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with it, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, like that's actually a different way of doing it. But I just like that thought. And it doesn't seem like, obviously I've got a part that's difficult to write, as in like looking up and understanding like actual fears and stuff. But overall, I don't think it's gonna be that tough to write as a whole, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think the
trying to
interesting thing to do would be like fucking like just like having a word with people and like finding out all the interesting, like drinking straws. Your man with drinking
Right.
straws.
There you go, bro. There you
There's
go.
one
That's what
like
I mean.
fucking like my man like fucking like people told me he had a fear of drinking straws before I met him. And
That's
like
so
fucking,
wild. Drinking straws, man.
yeah, I thought like it was just something like they were just like trying to like make people
What, to
think
put a
something
wine up and
stupid
that?
of him. But then I met him and he was like, and fucking like they worked in the same building as me, and like a bunch of like people from that side of the building were like all in the same cocktail bar as me.
Mm-hmm.
And like fucking his missus had to like fucking like they were getting cocktails. His missus had to stir the drink with a straw and take it out before he could touch the glass.
Yo, see, this is, and then the more I know, like, to learn stuff like about that is some people are gonna have genuine reasons, right? And then some people aren't. And I like the thought of there being no real reason. Like, in a way, like, because that's kind of scarier to me. Like, why, you know, like, there's someone be like, yo, shit, I don't like irons, because when I was like 7, I kind of got singed by one a little bit, and
Yeah,
then just give me the fear now.
that makes sense, isn't it?
Like, because that happened to me. Like, not I'm not scared of irons like at all, but like, I got a little singe off one when I was a kid, and then for like most of my childhood, I didn't like them, and then when I got a bit off, kind of get over it. But like, there's some people that are like, I don't know why. I have no idea why I'm scared of that
that's
shit.
it.
You know?
Like, but you just head into that destination.
Exactly there, bro. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, man. That's fine. I think we're going to wrap it up and call this a pod here. Before we do, let's drop your plugs, man. Fucking, obviously, people have got to be checking out Frankie Fraser versus Homeschool on Premier Battles. Obviously, people have got to be checking that out on YouTube now. Anything else you want to drop?
Any of me battles, and just if you like horror, like from this show, like go check out my Instagram. It's just at the moment I have no real theme to it. I like posting cool aesthetic horror shit, videos, stuff like that, stuff that pops me, like t-shirts and that. And if that's what your fucking aesthetic is to see, get on it. Follow me at Hellfraser. But other than that, man, I don't have much to plug. I'm just, that's me, bro.
Frankie Fraser, absolute legend. Thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for having me.
Peace.